Good morning. Good morning. Hold the line. Hold the line. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out to the men's breakfast on this day. Support the Mayor's vision, and not only the Mayor's vision, it's your vision also. Collectively, it's our vision. So you know how we do at the breakfast meetings and the Mayor's meeting. We're going to get right into it. It's not going to be too much delay. We're going to get straight to the information, and we need y'all to take that information and take it back to your communities. But at the end of the day, before y'all leave out of here, we also want y'all to network with each other, because that is one of the most important reasons that we have these meetings, these forums, is for each other to network. So at this point, Ms. Roundtree, we can open the meeting with prayer. Can you have your clergy, everybody come in and take a seat?
Good morning, my brothers. How you doing today? Let us bow our heads. Father, we thank you for this great occasion, for this opportunity that we have come together as unity, as family, as a foundation for our city. We pray that you would have your way in this meeting, that all the information that is shared, all the conversation that is had is productive, is enriching, and is uplifting. We thank you for change and transition in our city. We thank you because we are going to be impactful and influential. We give you all the glory, all the honor. In the name of Jesus, let everyone say amen and amen.
Thank you so much. So at this time, we're going to get right into to our first speaker. We have Brother Abdul Haq, and he's going to talk about the North Peace Agreement.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, once again, my name is Brother Abdul Haq Muhammad. I'm the student minister of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for the Muhammad Mosque of Islam, number 25, which is located here in the city of Newark, New Jersey. Once again, Assalamu alaikum. Inquiring minds wanted to know why was it necessary for us to have an all-men's meeting? Why was it necessary for us to have an all-men's meeting? And they wanted to ask, what are we talking about at this all-men's meeting? Well, in education, brothers, they say that data drives instruction. In education, they say that data drives instruction. So what is the data where the black man is concerned? The New York Times recently released an article, and it was entitled, "Where Are All the Black Men?" And in this particular article, they said that there were over 1.5 million black men missing in America from daily life. And they said that for every 100 black women between the ages of 25 and 54, there are only 83 black men. They said, in a sense, there's 1.5 million black men missing right now in America. The Philadelphia Inquirer said that in Philadelphia alone, there are over 90,000 black men missing. The Philadelphia Inquirer said in New York City alone, there are over 424,000 black men missing. They said in San Antonio, Texas, there are over 19,000 black men missing. They said in Dallas, Texas, there are over 13,000 black men missing. They said in Houston, there are over 13,000 black men missing. And they said in the city of Chicago, there are over 71,000 black men missing. Well, let's bring it home to New Jersey. According to the Gifford Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, they say that between 2010 and 2017, black men in New Jersey were 51 times more likely to be killed than white men of the same age. They say that black men between the ages of 18 to 24, you are 90 times more likely to be killed and shot with a gun. They said that black men in New Jersey, although we only make up 8% of the state population, we account for more than 70% of the homicide victims. You asking and you wondering, why do we need to have an all-men's meeting, all black and Hispanic men meeting, and what are we going to talk about? Well, again, they say that data drives the instruction. According to the CDC, they say that homicide is the leading cause of death for black men between the ages of 1 through 44. Homicide is the leading cause of death for black men between the ages of 1 through 44. And after we get to 44, they say from 45 and up, it's heart attack. See, we have a hell of a time just getting through 44, and by the time we get to 44, we tired as hell. We suffering from all type of combat stress. We suffering from all type of ailments. Why? Because just to make it to 44 was hard enough. Data drives the instruction. Why are we here and what do we need to talk about? You say, man, we need to talk about getting this money. I beg to differ. The data say that we got a greater chance at being killed than we got a greater chance at getting rich. Because according to the New Jersey Center for Social Justice, they say that the median net wealth for a white family in New Jersey is $352,000. And the median net wealth for a black family in New Jersey is only $6,100. They say that the individual net wealth of a black individual in New Jersey is only $179. But guess what? You have a 20 times more likely chance than you do of getting killed than you do of getting rich. So we don't really need to talk about no money right now. We need to talk about how we going to stay alive and how we going to stay out of jail. Why stay out of jail? Because according to the New Jersey Institute of Social Justice, a young black man in New Jersey, you 18 times more likely to be locked up than white children in New Jersey, even though black and white children commit criminal offenses at the same rate.
Thank you.
For every one white man that's locked up in New Jersey, there's 12 of the bros locked up in New Jersey. What do we need to talk about? Data drives the instruction. And I know it's very difficult a lot of times for us to talk about violence. Why? Because we traumatized. And one of the symptoms of being traumatized is avoidance, where you try to deny or ignore that which traumatized you. And this is why when you talk to the brothers, the first thing they say is what? I'm trying to stay out the way. No, that's called avoidance. So you're trying to ignore and deny that which you don't have the capacity or the capability to deal with. What is another symptom of trauma? It's emotional numbing. Just when you talk to the black man about peace, man, I don't give a fuck. No, it's not that you don't give a fuck. You wasn't born not to give a fuck. But you don't know how to deal with what you've been through. Okay. We set the fire alarm off. All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah.
That's right.
All praise is due to Allah. I'm closing. We closing. The third symptom is disassociation. See, when you in pain, you try to disassociate yourself from yourself. That's why you always getting high. Why? That's why we always taking them psychoactive drugs, because we too in pain and we don't want to deal with the self, so we try to disassociate ourselves from ourselves so we getting high. So they say that 4 out of every 9 black people in America, we are struggling with illicit drug use. They say 2 out of every 3 of us in America, we suffer from alcohol addiction. 1 out of every 9 of us are suffering from both. They say that 78% of the violent crimes that's committed in this country, most of the contributing factors are alcohol addiction or drug addiction. Between 2006 and 2012, over 1.5 billion painkillers entered into New Jersey, which killed over 6,000 people. I hope some of us in here not high, but if you is, you came to the right place. Why? Because my city need group therapy. We need group counseling. The gang need healing. We need healing, black man. So I'm asking you to get on this no peace agreement. I'm closing, brother. I'm closing, brother Tariq. I'm closing. When we say peace, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be no issues. It don't mean there's not going to be no issues. But it means that I'm willing to submit myself to a process. That before I kill my brother, I'm going to call up somebody that know my brother, and maybe he can cause both of us to sit down and reconcile. I hear us, man, F12. And man, F12. Man, F12. But 12 is the only people or entity that we have to deal with our public safety. If it's going to be we'll mess with the police, then we just don't got to mess with them. But what other entity or organization that we have that's concerned with our public safety? The mayor told me that the public safety budget in New Jersey and Newark is $229 million. $100 million of that go to the police. That's how much somebody else is getting because we can't get along. But you said, man, we broke, bro. We need money, bro. Hey, violence cost New Jersey $3.3 billion. Half the gang don't got no insurance. The gang don't got no insurance. So how much does it cost your city when we got to put you in the hospital bed? When we got to put you in the ambulance? One murder costs a city $5 million. You talk about fix the streets. We could if we would stop killing each other. We'll have some money in the coffers. The streets ain't just messed up because they messed up. We ain't got no money. Why? Because all the money going to the violence. At least go get the gang some health insurance. Blue Cross, Blue Shield, something. And I'm not talking at us, brothers. You know me. I'm in the trenches. That's right. All the time. We in court all the time. See, you need an advocate, black man. You need somebody that don't just want to talk about the mud, but they want to talk about the clouds that produce the rain that caused the mud. See, I'm that brother by Allah's grace. I'm not judging you. I know the circumstance and the condition. But when I come, I know the only entity we are used to being in our business is the police, but I'm not the police. I'm not the FBI. I'm the FOI. And before you talk to them, you might as well talk to me. It's the FBI or the FOI, black man. Because it's 4 letters. I think it's 4, right? RICO. They killing us. And they knocking us off 70 at a time, 19 at a time. You know this was illegal in New Jersey at one time, right? It was illegal in 1751 for 5 or more of us to be together. They called it unlawful gathering. Why they don't want us to organize and be together, black man? Because they're afraid that if we ever organize, we would do to them what they did to us. So you got the right mind to organize, but we organizing around the wrong thing. So I'm asking you, sign your hood up for the peace agreement. What does that mean? I'm just willing to submit myself to a process. Am I asking you to be a sitting duck? Emphatically no. You fight with those who fight with you. But most of these issues, you know it could have been resolved with a conversation. It's a misunderstanding half the time. I'm closing on this point, Brother Al-Tariq. No, I'm closing. With all due respect, gangbanging at this point, it's an obsessive compulsive disorder. It's an obsessive compulsive disorder. How you figure that, black man? You going back and forth with somebody for 5 years. That's an obsession. That's an obsession, brother. You going back and forth with somebody for 5 years, 2 years. That's an obsession. Meaning that your mind is fixated what? On a compulsion. A repetitive behavior to kill him or her who you deem as your op. That's a personality disorder. See, a lot of us got combat stress. I understand this is a war. 33 people been killed in this city. That's abnormal, brothers. But we functioning dysfunctionally. So when I come up, I'm asking for permission. Brother, it's okay, can I come here? You like, man, you could come here, but I'm sensitive to your pain and your trauma. I'm not just gonna walk through. You might have a flashback, or there's something in the environment, or I might say that might re-trigger you. You pull your gun on me. I asked the brother, man, who you talk to about your pain? He said, I don't talk to nobody. Why? Because don't nobody give a fuck. Pardon me. Some of us been in jail. We've been shot. Ain't had no counseling. No therapy. You went to jail, came home, ain't talked to nobody. I know why you frustrated. I know why we taking all these psychoactive drugs. I know why you smoking weed. It's a hallucinogen. Talk, man, I was hearing voices. I bet you was. You hallucinating. Yo, he told me to kill. No. He didn't tell you to kill. You were hallucinating. Man, I don't trust nobody. Did God create you not to trust nobody, or did your trauma do that? Are you what God created you to be, or are you the mere side effect of what you have survived? Are you what God created you to be, or are you the side effect of what you have survived? I don't trust nobody, bro. That's called being paranoid. And we trying to work on it. I know when you see them lights flashing, it's an environmental stressor. It's hard to heal or traumatize people in the same place that they experience their trauma, because there's environmental triggers all around us. Hell, I might be an environmental trigger. The mayor might be an environmental trigger. I had on a certain color, and when you got shot, your so-called op had that same color on, so when you see me, you don't want to talk. So I got to be careful what I wear and say to you, black man. So I just want to let you know that we sensitive to our pain, and we understand. And that's why we trying to stand in the gap. Let us stand in the gap. We need every neighborhood to sign up for the North Peace Agreement. We need every neighborhood to sign up. I want to shout out the Hyatt Court and Grafton Avenue for at least submitting themselves to say, man, you know what, we willing. My brother's in Hyatt Court right now working on painting them hallways. Why? Because we got to make where we live a decent and safe place to live. It ain't the cop's job, it's our job. I'm sorry, Brother Al-Tariq. Brother Mayor, the mayor was bearing witness, so I get that. That was a sign of me keep going. But I don't mean no disrespect there, brothers. If I offended you, I apologize. And I ask God to forgive me if I forgot or made a mistake. This not being timid, this called humility. But a lot of us been humiliated for so long that we think humility is weakness. See, we got to be humble toward one another. I hope everybody that came in here, you spoke to your brother when you seen him, even if you didn't know him. That's how I first started. Just speak. Peace, black man. I don't know what to say. Just nod your head. But let you know and him know you acknowledge them. That's how we start. That's how we create a bond. That's how we become sensitive to each other's pain. It's mothers out here right now whose son been killed on the same block they living on. She don't want to go outside. Why? Because when you traumatize, you isolate. That's why you don't want to leave your neighborhood, because you isolate. You paranoid. But, you know, on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I thank each and every one of you. The Mayor, I appreciate you, Brother Mayor, for allowing me, giving me a few minutes. Praise be to Allah. I want to shout out also, I see my brother Shadi, New Direction, working hard, doing their thing. Also, I see my brother Jimmy Wu. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, we putting the work in the city. All praise due to Allah. So thank you, brothers. Assalamu alaikum, and sisters. Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, we'd like to bring up Abdul Sabor.
Good morning, everybody. It's quite the follow-up I got to give. All right. So good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to thank Mayor Raji Baraka and the City of Newark for granting me the opportunity to speak and to be one of the many male representatives of Newark, as we all are in this room. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Bakir Abdul Sabor. I'm 23 years old, and I'm honored to be speaking here with you today. Okay, before I begin, the first thing I would like to emphasize is that it took a village to get to where I am today. At no point in my life did I feel alone, as if I attributed to my success and my successes alone. Whether it was family, friends, or even God, the support was there. And that's why it's important that we lean on one another, that we help one another, and that we give back to one another. Unfortunately, many of us men today think receiving help is a sign of weakness. But I can assure you that the many things that we label as a man as being vulnerable is not a weakness, but is our greatest measure of courage, the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. When I was 11 years old, my father was incarcerated, and that was the biggest shock of my world. Even thinking about it right now, So when I was 11 years old, my father was incarcerated, and it was the biggest shock of my world. At that age, it wasn't something I could really process. And even as I got older, I still wasn't able to process it because I was forced to grow up so fast, because I now felt like I had to leave my family and be there for them. So like the brother just said, I buried everything. It wasn't until I finally decided to face my emotions, my demons, my trauma, that I was finally able to grow past the situation that held me down so much, and that included forgiving my father. And I couldn't do that alone. It took the support of my family, my grandmother, my uncle, and so many other people to help me move forward. And once I started finally accepting the help of others and learning from others, was when I was finally able to grow, and from there it was up. I was in danger of losing my academic scholarship at the time, to Seton Hall Prep, where I was attending high school. After my healing, I was able to turn that around. I then went on to attend Villanova University, where I achieved my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. And from there, I moved to my current role as a product engineer at Panasonic. And that's a story in its own as well. I actually started at the Newark Summer Youth Employment Program. And one thing I would like to say to that is to always put your best foot forward no matter where you are. I was there, I wasn't doing anything engineering related, but I always made sure that I showed up. I always made sure that I put my best foot forward, and the CEO actually took a liking to me. And from there, she set me up with an interview. She actually had the president of Panasonic was on the board. She brought me into a meeting, and then I talked to the guy. At the end of the meeting, I had an internship for the next summer. From there, they hired me back, and then I was hired full time. So if one thing I can speak to that is always put your best foot forward no matter where you are. Because you never know what opportunities can come out of there. Let me just catch my spot. Okay, yeah, so right now I'm currently a product engineer, but it didn't stop there because I still have dreams, I still have goals, I still have aspiration, the things that I want to accomplish. So I always had a passion for music. I developed that from my father. So I'm currently a recording artist. And when he was released from prison 2 years ago, we decided to develop an app that actually gave back to artists. It's called The Writer's Block, and it's a t-shirt I'm wearing right now. So we actually were just able to launch this app last month, and it's a platform where artists can go head-to-head in the Time Song Challenge to see who can not only make the better song, but they can also make money from their profits. So the fans could go on and vote for them and purchase their battles, and then the proceeds go to the artists. So just a way to give back to the artists, to do something that we love. Me and my father, both artists ourselves. He was actually signed to Queen Latifah back in the day when he was coming up. So we decided to develop a platform where they could give back to the artists. And then, so, you know, that's one of the big things that artists are struggling with is money, and they're making a name for themselves. So hopefully, you know, with this platform, we'll keep pushing it and growing it. They'll be able to make a name for themselves. So if there are any artists out there, any producers that would like to connect with me, we could definitely do that. I can get you on the platform, and I can get you to start making money fast. But with all that, I would just like to say that it's important that, you know, we stand together, and it's okay to know to ask for help. And more importantly, when we acquire these things, we do our due diligence to give back to those who are also trying to come up. So thank you again. My name is Baraka. I appreciate you taking the time out to listen to my story, to learn a little bit about who I am. And hopefully there was a piece where you found some inspiration, where you learned something that you could pass on to someone else. And if there's any questions you have for me, I'll be sitting over there. Feel free to reach out, connect with me. I just hope everybody have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. At this time, I want to acknowledge a couple of elected officials in the building. We got Congressman Payne. I see John James from the South Ward. I see Freeholder Richardson. Anybody else that I missed, I apologize. At this point, we want to call up Ms. Janie Hamlet from Hamlet Development.
Good morning. I'm Janie Hamlet. Hearing the first speaker, we raising 4 boys, my husband and I whispered to Ray, I said, wow, we should have brought the boys. They need to hear this. You know, raising 4 boys is not easy, so thank you. I'd like to say thank you for inviting me here today. I'm very honored to be here to share with you what it was like working as a contractor with Invest Newark. We were chosen as one of 3 contractors to work on the city of Newark, where they were renovating homes to provide homeownership opportunities for Section 8 tenants. And we were one of the contractors. How did we get started? What have we done to deserve to be part of this? and what we hope to accomplish going forward. Having worked as a social worker, I worked as a housing case manager. My father-in-law was retiring, and we decided to invest in real estate. With his support, my husband and I started investing in real estate. Back in 2002, 2008, we did very well. Then the market surprised us. I guess it crashed, if you will. Then that's when, having done renovation work, we decided to get our construction license, home improvement license, and do construction work. And at the time, the city had a program where they were providing grants to renovate homes for seniors. And so we bid it on a few projects, and that started our construction career. From there, we've done work for nonprofits, and there was a weatherization program where we did window replacement, just all types of weatherization work. And that gave us the platform to be able to we started doing more heavy construction, gut work, new construction somewhat. And so recently, I want to say late 2019, when Invest Newark put out an RFP for the Section 8 homeownership program, the pilot program. We were one of 3 contractors, and we bid it and was awarded one project. And it just so happened that, with the whole shutdown with COVID in March, everything came to a halt for us with our other work. And I want to say around July of 2020, that's when we went under contract to renovate this property at 92 South 10th Street. And it came at the perfect time for us because everything had shut down, our guys weren't working, and we started the work, so it came just at the right time. And I remember saying, we need to exceed their expectation, I said to Ray. Because this is an opportunity, and having worked as a social worker, this was having both worlds, being able to do good while making money and creating work for our guys too. Thank God. Some people say I'm the brain of the business because I go out for the opportunities. I look for financing for the business. But my husband, Ray, he's the body. If I'm the brain, he's the body. He's the one that's out there picking up the guys and getting the work done. And where do we did this, and I believe there was, a tenant did end up with the house, and they'll be moving in shortly. And it's just a really great feeling to have an organization like Invest Newark to be able to give us the opportunity to perform, to show what we can do, not only as a contractor, but as a minority and women-owned business. We can perform and we can deliver. Because sometimes, they'll say, you can't find a black contractor that can deliver. And we want to prove that you can. Right. And you can do great work. And to do that, you have to go in prepared, plan out the work. There's going to be unexpected surprises. Plan for that by having a contingency. And yes, as a minority-owned contractor, sometimes it's hard to carry a project and wait to be reimbursed. But with an organization like Invest Newark, they made sure that as soon as we put in, I would call Roger and say, we're ready for an inspection. And I know they pay on Fridays, so I'll make sure he gets out on Monday, and I'm telling you by Friday we were paid to continue to work and push it forward. And, I can't say I don't know how much to say, how much we appreciate it, this opportunity. And I'm hoping to do more work with Invest Newark. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. At this time, we'd like to bring up Brian Grant from Grant Engineering and Construction Group.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brian Grant, and I just wanted to say that there are levels to this, and I think we started at the top level with Mr. Hawk, and now we're just going to knock it down a little bit to my level. That was an amazing speech. Everything he said was on point, so just that speech alone, I'm really glad I came. The company, Grant Engineering and Construction Group, we've been in Newark since 2016. Myself, I'm actually a graduate of NJIT in surveying and a graduate of Seton Hall Law School way back when, but I ended up sticking with engineering. We're a 17-person firm. We do a lot of utility work, sewers. We're working for Kareem and his team on the lead service line project. We've employed about 4 engineers on that. We're now down to 1, but it's been an amazing experience for us, really getting that opportunity. And one of the reasons we started the company was really not just to hire black professionals, but to give them leadership opportunities. In our profession, on the civil engineering side, you often find where they have 1 or 2 black engineers. They bring you into the black towns to show you off, but then when you look at the leadership, you're never there. So in leaving my role working for a consulting firm, working for City of Asbury Park, what we wanted to do and a core mission of ours was really to teach black engineers how to be proficient technically, but also how to eventually ascend to leading an engineering company. But leadership is important, representation is important, all right? So it's 17 of us. We're based at 211 Warren Street. We do a lot of site development work in the city of Newark. And by that, what I said is, 60-unit buildings, 90-unit buildings for different private developers. We do a lot of that work where we appear before the zoning and planning board. And it's really been a great experience. Before I started the company, I was actually city engineer in Asbury Park for 8 years. And I got an opportunity to see like a great development happen within a microcosm, because Asbury Park is 4.2 square miles as opposed to Newark. And it inspired me to start the company because I realized that while there was a lot of opportunity and a lot of development in the community, we weren't seeing it, right? We weren't benefiting from that economic growth. And the only how in my mind, from my experience, that we would benefit is ownership, right? Whether you own your own company, or you become a partner in a company, or you become a real estate entrepreneur, like the lady said before. That was my experience. So with the experience I had, we started the company. I'm extremely proud. I said, our biggest accomplishment is that 3 of our black engineers have bought their homes within the last 18 months, right? And that's been amazing. I know one, Kevin, he was born and raised in Newark, never owned a home before. He had 2 great sons. Now they're growing up in a home that's owned by their parents. And that to me it's phenomenal. We have Israel, we have Ola, same thing, immigrants like myself. I'm from a small island called St. Kitts. Israel and Ola are from Nigeria. They've come up, they got involved in the lead line service program, and they've made money and they've bought homes for their kids. And I think building the wealth is really important. If you look at the history of our country, it's where we've historically been restricted from wealth creation opportunities, whether it's not being able to own a home in a certain area back in the 1940s, where you could have bought that home for $8,000, it's now worth $300,000. So we've really been cut off from a lot of wealth opportunities. So our mission as an engineering company is to create and grow black engineers, black engineering leaders, and to generate wealth for us and for the benefit of our community. So again, I thank you for this opportunity. Again, Grant Engineering and Construction Group, I am going to assault the congressman here for opportunities at Newark Airport, because they're spending billions there, and we're not getting it. So Congressman, you're my first point of contact. But guys, if you ever want to know about engineering, know about the profession, one of the things I love to do is I love to go out and talk to schools, young black men and women, black and brown women, and just expose them to engineering. I think what I've found is a lot of them have never met an engineer. A lot of them have never met a licensed engineer. Once you start telling them about math and how much you're supposed to love math, they kind of, gloss over. But I think engineering is a great profession. You don't often hear about us because we're often in the background. It's a great profession, and if any one of you want us to come over, want some of my young engineers, I'm 49, so now some of my young guys between 22 and 31. So what I like to do is involve the young engineers in talking with the schools and the young folks, so that they can speak the same language, because sometimes I might not do that. But if any one of you guys want us to come out and speak to some of the kids, summer camp, schools, or what have you, we're definitely available. So again, thank you for the opportunity.
At this time, we're going to have remarks from Congressman Donald Payne.
Thank you. How's everybody doing? Well, as has been stated a couple times, after that first presentation, I was worried about coming up here and putting y'all to sleep. But it's a real honor and a privilege to be here in a room full of brothers, men from this community that are moving in a positive direction to quell all of those stereotypes about the black man and how he does not care about his community and his children. That ain't so. Look at the room. We're here today to learn. I'm learning, get some knowledge, and let's just thank the mayor once again for his vision. His vision, since our time on the city council together, there was never a day where the mayor wasn't thinking about something innovative. So I'm not surprised that we're here today in this venue. It's just another step in his vision for our community. And let me just say, as the young man that just sat down, he is right. I am the person to see about those opportunities at the airport. Congress is a thing where you have to put your time in. Sometimes in unions, you're journeyman and you get to a certain point. A few years after that, you put it, even with social, the rankings in the federal government, you got to get to a certain point, so many years. Well, the same thing in Congress. So I've been there 8 years now, and, I've paid my dues, made creative relationships, worked on different things, and now I'm moving into positions of authority. So I was just elected in a tough race. I'll tell you, them boys out in Indiana weren't playing, but I became chairman of the Transportation Infrastructure Subcommittee on Rail. So I'm responsible for everything railroads in the United States. And, it's an awesome, awesome responsibility. I'm learning, still learning. I'm not trying to fool anybody. By no stretch of the imagination, I'm an expert. I just walked in there. But I am on that committee. I'm the chair of that committee. And I also serve on the aviation committee in transportation. So I do have a lot of purview over what's going on in Newark Airport. So we should talk. And, ladies and gentlemen, my mission in my public life has always been I've been so blessed in my life to have been the son of Donald Payne that let me see the things that I saw, learn the lessons that I learned, and do the things that I'm doing now that all come out of that. And the first thing I realized in taking that chairmanship was I found out, I said, okay, well, let's look at the DBE program, which is the, minority and women business owned. I said, well, let me look at the DBE program here at the railroad, the TRA. And they said, oh, we don't have one. I'm like, wait a minute. In 2021, you don't have a DBE program where the other ones are set up at the air administration, the highway administration have been there for 30, 40 years. And I walk in the door and ask that question, and there's no DBE program, like nothing. Nothing to let minorities participate in that business, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, if you're in that space. So let me say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that we are implementing. I talked to Secretary Pete Buttigieg, and we are now in the process of putting that program together and in place in the railroad. And so, everybody, well, what's Payne do? What's the congressman do? These are the types of things that I'm working at on a national level. The voting rights issue, which is really, really serious, ladies and gentlemen. They are coming after us. They don't want us to vote. You can see the power in the vote. Listen, if anybody's trying that hard to keep you from doing something, it must be important, right? So don't ever take it for granted that, my vote. Well, why are they working so hard to keep us from voting? You got to think that way. You got to crystallize that. I don't vote. I ain't that. That's exactly what they want you to do, because you don't have a say in what goes on. So just keep that in mind. I'm just here to support the mayor and support brothers in my community that are doing positive things. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. And also work on bringing money back to the city. And during this whole pandemic, we fought very hard to support our cities. But in the original formula, the money that they were going to bring back to the cities was only for cities that were 500,000 people or more. So myself and Lacey Clay from Missouri, from St. Louis, we went to Miss Pelosi and said, well, Miss Pelosi, you might as well shut Missouri and New Jersey down. And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, our largest city is 300,000. So we would not qualify for any aid, and we needed just as much as all of those towns that are 500,000. And so with our efforts, Lacey Clay, brother was dynamic. We had to recalculate the formula. Don't you know, I got Glen Ridge money. So, but here in Newark, it paid off, and I was proud to call the mayor that day. I was so excited. I called him ahead of time. We were able to get Newark $186 million. So I know that's going to go a long way to recovering the monies during the pandemic that the city had to expend. So I say all that to say I'm working hard in Washington. Follow me, please. My kids laughed. They said nobody follows me. Can y'all follow me, please, so my kids will think I'm, doing something? I'm at Rep. Donald Payne Jr. on Facebook. I even learned how to talk it. I'm on Twitter. I'm Rep. Payne, and tweet me, Twitter me, whatever the thing is. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And seriously, just so you know what I'm doing, and to make sure that I'm doing the job that you sent me to Washington to do. It's funny. People go, "Oh, Payne, we don't ever see you." I said, "You sent me to Washington. What do you mean? I'm in Washington 4 days a week. How are you going to see me?" But, I really take it as an honor to represent you, to be your voice in Newark. Call my office. When you think, Payne, you ain't doing the job, I need to know that. And sometimes when I'm doing all right, y'all can call me on that too. But, I'm working hard down there to make sure you're represented in the manner you deserve. And I appreciate this effort to bringing brothers together and moving forward in a community that needs to continue to reach for the positiveness that we all have inside. So thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. At this time, we want to bring up Mayor Raz J. Baraka for the city of Newark.
Hold the line. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, maybe when we finish, you guys sound a little louder than that, I appreciate it. Let's give it up for everybody who spoke, please. I'm going to try to recap some of that. Some of us, I'm watching the crowd, some of us just don't have the discipline that we need. That's just, that's a big part of it, because we feel entitled, and the entitlement, we heavy on entitlement and small on the discipline. You understand what I'm telling you? We think somebody ought to give us something, but we don't have the discipline to get it. We don't even have the strength and the patience to sit still long enough to get the information that's being given to us. We sleeping when we should be awoke. We got our head down, we resting, we doing all kind of other things. We don't have the discipline to get the information that people are giving us. And this is happening on August 7th, and that's not by coincidence. 7 is an important number. 7 is an important number. Why isn't the devil settled on the best part of the planet Earth? 7 is an important number. And we're having it on August 7th, and it's important for us to know that, but it's also important for us to understand all of the things that was just said. A brother just got up here and told you that because they participated in the lead service line replacement, people bought homes. I hope you heard that. I was over there listening to that. He said, because we participated in this program, people bought homes. I heard the sister say her whole family has been recovering because they involved themselves with Invest Newark and began to build homes in the city of Newark, right? I heard somebody mention the airport. Right now, we are working to get businesses from Newark into Terminal 1 that's opening up in the airport. You hear these things, but is it causing your mind to rotate? Is it causing you to think, to elevate, to begin to turn stuff into action, or are you just sitting here letting things go past you?
Because there's a lot of stuff happening. People always say there's nothing for me, there's nothing going on. Your eyes are not open. People are coming to your town benefiting from things that have been in place, and you've been here for 40 years already. Somebody told me that they don't like to come to the men's meetings because all it's about is us. We get a inspirational speech. So I had to I wanted to bring people up so they could see how they benefited, number one. But number two, damn it, we need an inspirational speech. We need a few inspirational speeches. We got to be inspired to do something. We doing nothing. Somebody got to get you excited. You got to motivate people into action. You got to motivate people into, when they go outside, they feel like they can break a brick. That you got to get motivated, because this thing is designed to beat you down. And every day if you're being beat down, you got to go someplace so you can get motivated. So we need motivational speeches. We need you to get excited about what's going on. We need you to feel like I need to get with my brothers. I need to figure out how to control what's going on in my neighborhood, in my community. I need to build something. I need to start a business. I need to get engaged in supplying businesses and services to the city of Newark, to the county of Essex, to the state of New Jersey. I need to build real estate because we need housing, so I need to build housing. Right? I need to get involved, and I need to open up a store. I need to employ people in my neighborhood. I need to seize power, right? Not this entitlement. What do I mean when I say that? People come up to me and say, I was at a meeting on South One Avenue. A brother in the meeting said, they asked people why they keep going back to jail. He said, I went back to jail because the mayor ain't give me a job. I ain't give you those drugs either, brother. That entitlement is what's killing us. That entitlement, that thing that we think that the choices and the actions that we make, somebody owes us for that. We have to put in some work to get the things that we want. You can't sit around expecting things to come to you. You got to get up and do something. You got to get up and do something. That's the reason that we have these meetings. Why you want to meet? Because I want you to do something. I want you to get with the people in this room and make something happen. Build something. They keep talking, we keep building. Build something. Build. God gave you the mind to build. Build something. Build something. Don't wait for somebody to do something and then complain about it. Build it. If you want it, build it. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we are here. So you can build something, so you can transform your community, so you can change it, and stop waiting for people to do for you what you should be doing for yourself. I heard Minister Hot talk about the conflicts we have with one another. We don't have no real conflict. The problems we have with each other are emotional. It's not based on data. That's when I was young, when I was learning, somebody gave me actual facts. That's what they gave me. They gave me actual facts as the foundation, so when I start building, I can build off of a strong, solid foundation, not emotionalism. Our problems are emotional. I don't like him. Why? I don't know. I got a feeling about him. I'm mad at you because you treated me wrong. You said something I didn't like. Words and all. That's our conflict is over that. We don't have no real conflict. The organizations and all kind of people that we're fighting each other. We don't have no real conflict. A conflict is not over what we believe. Conflict is not over what we want. The conflict is not over what we need for our community. The conflict is about how we feel. And we can't sit down and resolve this conflict because we're so busy dealing with our feelings and not facts. We're dealing with feelings. He hurt my feelings. She hurt my feelings. I'm upset. Our issues are bigger than your feelings.
put them down, and figure out how to solve these problems we have. Got people working, supposed to be working on the same thing, can't even get in the room together, yelling and screaming at each other because they dealing with their feelings. They dealing with their feelings. You got two organizations that should be working to create something and build something in the city. We can't get it done because we arguing, we in each other's feelings. We in competition with one another. Our enemy running around free, but we fighting each other because we in competition with one another because we hurt each other's feelings. Our enemy working to break us down all of the time, but we can't even get in the room and have a discussion because we dealing with our feelings. I didn't get what I want. I didn't get the position I asked for. Got a $2,000 resume and want a $250,000 result. I've been with that guy for 20 years. We dealing in our feelings. We dealing in our feelings as opposed to saying, look, you got a company, I got a company, this is what we're trying to get, let's get it together. As opposed to dividing us up into 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 different pieces, going to war with one another so we can't get the things that's supposed to be ours already. Do you know this stuff was yours already? Do you know that all of this belongs to you already? If you dealt with that in your mind, you wouldn't even have a fight with nobody. Do you know that every piece of it is yours? The block don't belong to you, the city is yours. The city don't belong to you, the state is yours. Every 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth belong to you. 57,255,000 of that is land belongs to you. Then you wouldn't be fighting over this piece and that piece. My neighborhood versus no neighborhood. You don't got no damn neighborhood. All of this is yours. Everywhere you walk, your feet belongs to you. Every room you walk in, every land you step on, every time the sun rises, everything the sun shines on is yours. The sky, the birds flying and the bees move around and belongs to you. The atmosphere, the air, the water, the land, the trees, even the breeze that blows by in the morning on your face is yours. If you knew that, then you would be moving differently. You walk into rooms differently. You talk to people differently. When you wake up in the morning and you see all this, you're automatically humbled that somebody of your stature, with all the mistakes you've made and all the things you've done and how weak and nimble you are, that you still have all of this stuff. That he's still giving you the ability to control all of this. Every time you step out of your bed, then you walk differently. You talk differently. You don't get upset at menial things. People say, oh, you go through so much, how can you look so calm? This is not about nothing. Do you think if all of the folks that's religious, all our Christians in here, you think if God allowed Jesus, his own son, to go through all of the things he went through, who the heck you think you are? If he can allow his son to be nailed to a cross, you think that a couple of people talking about you is a problem? They wrote something about you on the internet, you done broke down? Because some people spreading gossip about you, you finished? Oh, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. You're supposed to go through something. How else do you think they can make you the person you're supposed to be if you don't go through something? You got to go through something. You got to go through trial and tribulation. That's the problem. You don't want the pain of trial and tribulation. You want the victory, but you don't want the pain. You want the crown, but you don't want the cross. You want heaven, you just don't want to die. Yeah, so you complain about all of the stuff you go through. Hell, you're supposed to go through something. I'm glad I'm going through the things I go through. When people talk about me, that means I'm working. They keep talking, we keep building. If they not talking, you not working. If they not talking, you not working. All you brothers out there trying to do the peace agreement, it's going to be painful. People going to come against you. Yeah, they're going to try to break it down and to force you to stop, to quit, to get off the wall. to go back to do what you was doing. The stuff you was trying to get, you're not going to get it automatically. You're looking for fortune and fame, but that's not why you in it. That's not why you in it. You in it to preserve life, to build your community, to be stronger, to allow your bloodline to live long, to pass generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. So your children's children know you was alive and well. You building your community so you can be strong. You got people around you talking about how to get power, and they don't know nothing about no power. Talking about your ops. You don't know no ops. You ain't had no opposition. When you start doing the real work, then the opposition really shows up. You don't have to create no enemies. You had enemies in your mother's womb. When you was in your mother's womb, they was plotting to kill you. Plotting to destroy you in your mama's womb before you even came out the 9 months and gave birth. They was trying to kill you. After you every day. Some of you in here, they after you still. You want it now. Yeah, every day they on your back, right? So at the end of the day, you don't know what opposition really looks like until you begin to do the real work. When you do the real work, the devil shows up. It shows up. Alarms start going off, Brother Hawk. Say they got to test the system. They run up here and say, hey, it's not an emergency. We just got to test the system. They want to test to see if the alarm will make Brother Hawk stop. Or more importantly, make us jump up and run out because we think it's a fire. Make us jump up and run out because we think it's a fire. Make us jump up and run out because we think it's a fire. That's what happens in our community. Make us jump up and run out because we think it's a fire. And they was just testing the system to see if the system worked. Because the system is not broken, the system is working. And sometimes they have to test the system to see if it works. And when they test the system to see if it works, 200 more of us go to jail. 500 more of us die on the street. Hundreds more of us lose our jobs. Hundreds more of us leave our families. More of us are homeless on the street. More of us destroy our community. More of us get high. More of us on drugs. Our incarceration numbers go higher and higher and higher every time they test the system. Every time they test the system. And the minute you get stronger, the minute you start talking to one another, the minute you start organizing, look at history, I'm not making this up. The minute you start organizing, remember the street organizations come together, because that's not new. The minute we start uniting with one another, the minute we start owning stuff in our community, what do? They test the system. They test the system. And lo and behold, the system works. It works. You know it worked. Look what they did to your family. You know the system works. They test the system. That's what they do every day. And we just got a glimpse of it. Amen. God is real. Living flesh. They tested the system right in front of us. We ain't even peep it. I was over there like bugging. They was, hey, what's good? Hey, they testing the system. Yeah, they wanted the brother minister to stop. That's when I pulled my guy back a little bit. I said, you know what, stay back. Let him go a little longer. Because obviously if they got to test the system in the middle of that, there's something that's being said that need to be said. Some rotation going on in people's minds that's causing them to elevate, because rotation causes elevation. You know, because it's something in your mind that's going on and on and on that's causing you to elevate. You know that, right? And I know you think you're not supposed to elevate because something wrong with you. You know, you don't got everything you're supposed to have. You're not on 100% you're not doing everything correctly or right. Let me tell you, you know, scientists will tell you that the old earth, right? Before the old earth. This is what scientists say, right? This is what scientists, that you can look this up. Scientists say that an object from space hit the earth. You can look that up. They said an object, maybe a meteor or a rock, hit the earth millions, billions of years ago. Hit the earth, boom. And when it hit the earth, a piece of the earth flew off into the sky. And they contemplate that object that flew off into the sky is the moon. And it caused the earth to be not exactly round, but oblong. Not perfect, but imperfect. It was oblong, missing a piece. And so what it did, it caused the earth to wobble a little bit. It wobbles because it's not perfect. And it wobbles in its rotation. It's wobbling like this, spinning and wobbling. And in that wobble, it dips. And every time it dips, the seasons change. Every dip causes the earth to experience another season. Winter, summer, spring, fall. And these seasons actually are important for life on earth. So you tell me if the object that hit the earth was by accident, or was it on purpose? That's a whole nother meeting. But the reason I'm bringing it up is so you know that the earth spins imperfectly. And in its imperfection, it does a perfect job. In its imperfection and all of the stuff that we have wrong with us, we are designed to do something perfect. To do a perfect job. The earth does a perfect job. Everything is science, man. Stop dealing with your feelings. Everything is science. The sun, the light of the sun travels from the earth, from the sun, and hits the earth, right? And causes the earth at an exact spot. It causes the earth to spin and rotate on its axis. That's what happens. And the same speed that it takes the light of the sun to hit the earth is the same speed that your thought comes from your head on out, right? Or the blood from your head to go to your feet and back to your head again. I just wanted to bring that up so you know the foundation is actual facts, not emotions. So when I'm doing things, I'm doing it based on actual facts, not what you feel. So sometimes you're going to get angry at what I do because you're dealing with your feelings, but I'm dealing with facts. You worried about your feelings, I'm dealing with your seasons. You worry about your feelings, I don't think you're in the right season. You want something in the wrong season. It's summertime and you dealing in winter. You're in the wrong season. You want something now and I'm telling you to wait for it because your season ain't right. When the season comes, that it'll happen for you. I'm dealing in facts, you dealing in emotions. You worried about what's going on, I'm dealing in facts, the things that I see, the data, the analysis. You trying to get power, you on the corner of your block every day at 8:15 a.m. in the morning in the same spot, you don't even got the sense of mind to clean up the spot that you're in. You're standing in the middle of filth. All day, every day, chopping it up with 5, 6, 7 people who think the way you think, that is not causing rotation or elevation. Y'all in the same dirty spot. How do I know? Because you got it on social media. You don't even have pride enough to clean it up before you put it on social media. So when you out there, I can see the garbage next to your feet because you standing in filth. Your mama can't even come out the building and go to the store, and you have the presence of mind to pick the damn dice up off the ground and let her go by. You talking about somebody terrorizing you? No, you terrorizing your community. Oh, you thought I'm not a liberal. You terrorizing your block. Who you think calling the police on you? You think they just showing up there? No. Your grandmother when she couldn't get by because we didn't teach it to you. Because when I was a kid, When my mother walked the street, everybody turned back. Can I help you with your bags, Miss Baraka? Are you okay, Miss Baraka? If they were smoking something they had business smoking, they go behind their back on the ground and put out, excuse me, Miss Baraka, I apologize. We was acting up and cussing and carrying on the block. The guys would tell us to go down the street. Take that down the street somewhere, man. You're messing up our money. No order. We standing in filth. And then we fighting with the police on the block. That's our existence. We wrestling and fighting with the cops. Then we put it on social media. We in back alleyways and dirt and dust and all, wrestling and fighting with the cops on social media. Talking about we want power. We wrestling and fighting with the cops on social media over blocks we don't own, over streets that's not named after us, in communities where we don't own one single item. Wrestling with them about ownership of a block that doesn't belong to us. If they throw your mama out, you go into another block. If they close your projects down, you go into another block. You wrestling with the cops over blocks you don't own. Then you put it on social media. Then you want to have a rally and a protest about a block you don't own, about cops who pushed you, with some local guys who trying to get power, but they don't got power themselves. We talking about power, but we don't got no power. Wrestling, that's the same, and it goes over year after year after year. When somebody gonna line them brothers up and say, why don't y'all buy this property right here? This vacant lot is filthy. Clean it up. Go to the city. Something here, a store, a restaurant, public housing, a community center. Let's build it right here. Let's start with cleaning up the area we're around. Why do people don't like us? Because it's filthy and you don't have the presence of mind to even clean it up. You can't clean it up because your mind dirty, and dirty is what you like. Your clothes is dirty. Your hair is dirty. Your pants is dirty. Your sneakers is dirty. Your thoughts is dirty. The words you say is dirty. You're walking around dead and dirty. And then you want to know why the people in your community angry at you, because they don't want their little kids to gravitate towards dirt, because God didn't make dirt. I'm just telling you what I know. And you need to own it. That's what this is about. I'm not going to tell you, I'm tired. I did all of that stuff. I want you to own something. I want you to be a part of an organization. I want you to build something. Don't make your life about complaining on social media. People are going to be 60 years old, been doing the same thing for the last 15 years, complaining on social media about power. Before it was social media, it was something else. Complaining about this, complaining about that, complaining about this, because they can't get what they want individually. The people who owe you ain't giving it to you, and they gangster about it. The people who owe you, they ain't giving it to you. They told you that for hundreds of years. You ain't getting it. And they gangster about it. So what you do, you turn on your neighbor. You're trying to get from your neighbor something they don't owe you and something they don't have. Because you can't get from these people what they owe you, right? Oh, they owe me. But I'm not waiting for them to give it to me. Power concedes nothing without demand. If I'm not in the organization, I'm going to build one, create one, or belong to one. You got to be in an organization. I don't care if it's your church, your masjid, the local block organization. You got to be in an organization. You got to be in a disciplined organization that gives you orders, responsibility, duties, and discipline. You have to be in an organization, number one. You have to be a part of an organization that wants something for you more than you want for yourself. You got to be a part of an organization. And then when you're a part of that organization, you have to build something, right? So being in an organization is not the only thing, because some people are part of organizations, they don't own nothing. They're not even trying to own nothing. Some organizations are created to destroy things. The first step is to get into the right organization, then to build, right? I told you at the airport, they build a Terminal A. They're going to build it without you. They didn't ask your permission to build this. They don't need your permission to build it. You ain't that gangster, tough guy. Take you and your boys to Port Authority and say, y'all ain't building nothing here. Tough guy. Such and such from this hood. Get your crew and go to Port Authority. Say, you can't build this. We got to be involved in it. Go to the seaport. Tell them, when people get hired, we got to be a part of it. When those ships come in, second largest seaport in the nation, in Newark, everything that comes up and down the eastern seaboard comes through the city of Newark, through the seaport. They're making billions of dollars there, billions. And you sitting on a dirty crate in front of Weequahic Park. You could see the damn airport from where you sitting. Billions of dollars coming through there. They ain't asked your permission. They ain't asking you nothing. They're going to do it anyway. We got to fight them to hire 5 of you. We got to wrestle with them to get 6 of you on the job. They ain't with none of that. They hiring their own family and their family's family. You ain't in it. You on the crate every morning at the same time. A stone's throw from billions of dollars. We replacing land service lines in your community. You see the brother got up here and said they bought houses, hundreds of millions of dollars passing through your neighborhood. $100 million the Newark city of Newark spends every year just on goods and services. What goods you got? What services you providing? How you getting a piece of this? I'm telling you something that's dangerous. This dangerous talk. The reason they don't do much about it, because it's just talk. And they waiting for you to do something. And when you do something, they're going to test the system. And you got to be strong enough to live through the test. They're going to test the system. Yeah, they're going to test the system. They're going to cause an uproar, a problem, focus your mind on something else, create an issue over here, cause internal fighting between the people in your organization, create another organization so you can fight them. Now you're fighting the other organization and not worried about the RFP that went out. Something happens in your family. They give you a notice in the mail. The bank call you unexpectedly. Your child gets in trouble in school. Oh, they test the system. That's what happens. And then you start fighting with one another, and the opportunity goes away. Then you start blaming people who ain't got nothing to do with it, because you couldn't survive the test. Because the test's coming. You know it's coming, right? Some of y'all living through it right now. It's coming. Every chance you get higher, their job is to knock you down. That's what the test is about. Every day. We got more vacant properties in the West Ward and in the South Ward than all of the city combined. Right? We waiting for somebody to build them. Then we complain that they didn't include us. Then we complain that they're not building housing for us. But the lot been vacant for 30 years. And you walked past it. Matter of fact, you had it sitting on a crate in front of it. And now they're developing it. Now you're down to City Hall complaining that nobody has included you in that development. But why did you think they was going to include you? They don't even know you. As a matter of fact, some of these people are diametrically opposed to you. So they're not going to include you. You're got to include yourself. If you don't include yourself, why do you expect other people to include you? You bought a house. We need housing. I'm going to build housing. We need stores. I'm going to build some stores. If I'm not going to build it, I know some people who are, and I'm going to talk to them until they get it built. Everybody don't have that. I don't expect everybody to go out here and build and own and do all this other stuff, but I expect you to have the mind to. And encourage the people around you to. Don't be in circles with people and all y'all talking about is how terrible things are. I don't need you to tell me how bad my life is. I already know. I come outside every day, stuff going on. I need you to help me get out of this thing. If I'm around people that's not helping us get out of it, then I don't need to be around them. EPMD, you hang with 9 broke friends, you're bound to be the 10th one. I can't be with you every day. I'm with you every day. Only thing on your mind is negativity. How we losing? I don't want to lose. I want to win. I want to win. I don't want to lose. I want to win. I want to be around people who win, who think about winning. I don't want to be defined by the problem. I want to be defined by the solution. I don't want to build an organization because a problem exists. We got organizations to keep people out of jail. We got organizations to make sure people eat. We got organizations to give people affordable housing. We got organizations all created because of all of the problems that exist. That's this system created so the organizations exist because of those problems. If the problems didn't exist, the organizations wouldn't exist, and a lot of people would lose out because the organizations they are part of were created because the problem exists. But what if the problem didn't exist? And is your organization thinking about the day when the problem is gone? That's the kind of organization you'd be a part of, because you don't need to be a part of an organization that exists temporarily unless you think the problem is going to exist in perpetuity. If you think the problem is going to exist forever, then what the heck are you doing? If it's going to exist forever, then you are feeding off of the problem. You like the problem. Because if there was no problem, it would be no you. You know those people running around here telling you how terrible things are, how the problem exists. No. Talk about the solution, how we win, how we get out, what's going to happen tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day after that. That's what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about a system. We have to fix the system. I want a whole new one. Y'all heard what I said? I want a whole new one. I need to be with people who are thinking about the new one. You got to be with me every day. You got to be thinking about the new one, not the old one and how to fix it. I'm talking about the new one. I need to be with the people who invented the airplane. You understand? I need to be with people who invented the computer. I need to be with those people, the jet engine. I need to be people thinking about stuff that ain't even happened yet. This is what we're going to do 2 days from now, 5 days from now, a month, a year from now. This is what we're going to be doing. I want to be with those people, not with everybody that's complaining about what's happening to them today. Because now you're a victim. I'm not no victim. I'm not a victim. Not at all. I just told you all of this belongs to me. You think that's arrogance. It's not arrogance. It's just facts. I didn't set it up that way. I wake up in amazement, humbled. I'm not a victim. I wasn't created no victim. All colors come from me. Science and math comes from me. I'm the origin of everything. How am I a victim? You don't exist without me. Every language comes out of the language I created. I'm not no victim. I transcend time, space. What? And I transcend time, space, and matter. I was the thinking before the thinking. I was thinking before the thinking. I was involved in that thinking before the thinking. Before time and space and matter was created, I was here. Time and space was matter was created so I could come here in the flesh, in the present. So I'm not confined by all this craziness. What you see is my body. You don't know me. All you can say is that's the mayor. He's African American. He's 5'9". He's 50-something years old. He's this. That's my characteristics. You don't know me. My mind is who I am. My mind transcends all of this space. I can stay in this spot and travel around the world without leaving this room. That's what I learned. That's why when I walk, I'm not afraid. I don't got no hood. I go anywhere I want in the city. You can't tell me where to go. I go anywhere I want to go. I go to any block, any neighborhood. You can't come here. Or hell, I can't. I walk anywhere I want to walk. And people know me, I will go there. I don't have no problem going anywhere. Not because I'm a tough guy, because I know who I am. I can go anywhere. I transcend all of this stuff. This stuff can't hold me back. That's when I go in rooms, people don't know what to say. They move in their seat uncomfortably sometimes. They start whispering like somebody. Ever been in a room with somebody, they start whispering? You looking around to see who else present. They get uncomfortable when I show up. I don't got to yell and scream and act a fool and call people names on Facebook and run around and interrupt events, screaming and hollering at the top of my lungs so I can be noticed. When I walk in the room, I'm noticed. Because the truth is magnetic, and magnetism attracts. When I walk in a place, everything moves. And they see it when I come in there. I don't got to dance and shuffle and sing and backflip and dribble between my legs and do all. I just show up. I just show up. All you got to do is walk in. I show up. And when I show up, something else changes. Because when you add a new chemical to the situation, things change. If you're the same old person when you walk in the room as everybody else, everything is the same. When I walk in the room, people look up. They look up. They want to know what's going on. Oh, people who don't like me and the people who do. People who don't like me, they start whispering. Saying all kind of stuff on Facebook. When I come in the room, they're like, some of them, they stand still and they just start staring. I speak, hey, what's going on? I'm telling you what I know. I ain't making this up. That's what they do. Then when I leave, they back at it. You know, I would have said, I was about to say this. I was about to do this. Man, you wasn't about to do nothing. Wasn't about to do nothing. You know why? Because the truth is so powerful, you can't do nothing. It froze you. That's what discipline does to you, right? It froze you. You frozen. You stuck. You stuck. That's what happens, right? That's what happens. You stuck. Either you stuck or you begin moving faster. That's what it does. And that's why these meetings are important, y'all. That's why they're important. They're going to attract all type of people. When we had these meetings, the last one we had over 2,000 people there. And everybody going to come here for a different reason. I want you to know that. It's attractive. People going to come. And everybody going to come for a different reason. Some of them coming to be nosy. Some of them coming to report. Our enemies are in the audience. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And hopefully something I said today may convert you into a believer. But we welcome you anyway. Don't think when you gather your enemies don't come, they're going to come. Welcome them. No need to put them out, because when you put them out, they're going to send somebody else. You can't put them out. Let them stay. Make them feel comfortable. Then light it up. Right? Welcome. Everybody come for a different reason. That's the magnetism of it all. And as we grow and grow and grow, more people going to come, right? More people going to come. Somebody told me, and I'm going to close on this, they said, you doing this, you have these men's meetings for political reasons. Listen, most of the people that come to these meetings don't even vote. I said, you know, the terrible thing about that statement, brother, is that most of the people that come to these meetings, they ain't voted. And they not even registered to vote, some of these guys, man. I'm trying to get them to register to vote. They ain't registered to vote. I don't say one thing about none of that. We setting up voter. I wish we may need to do that one day. But that's not what this is about. It's about all my life being in the city, watching us second, when we should be first. Right? Then we get together. Then we invite our brown brothers and sisters in, and we get together with them. Because there's stuff in the city that try to keep us all apart. Because they know if we all come together, it's worse than they could even imagine. That if we transcend even the fake languages that they came up with to keep us apart, the titles of these countries that we belong to, that they gave the names to, that we don't even know the original name to these places. Most of us, all of us ain't speaking our original language. We don't even know the language we used to speak. We fighting each other over languages that ain't even ours. I'm sorry, sir, but you're not from Spain. And though I speak English, I'm not from England. I'm not from England. My mama from South Carolina. My daddy, they from the Carolinas. Via West Africa. On a slave ship called Jesus. In 1555. And that ship managed to hit somewhere in Virginia. But you was on another ship. And your ship detoured. And before it got to Virginia, it went to Brazil. And before it even got to Brazil, it might have made a U-turn and went to the Dominican Republic. Dropped the fuel you off in Puerto Rico. Some in Costa Rica. Now you're speaking a language you don't know. And we don't like to talk like this. But you African too. You came from the same ship, the same place, the same origin. Those ships came this way. We got off in different places on those ships. They gave us languages that didn't belong to us. We prayed to God anyway, even though they used God to enslave us. We turned it around and used it to free us. What about the original people who could do that? They gave us chitlins and we turned it into a delicacy. They gave us wildflowers, junk food. Now the whole world buying it. They keep us, separate us all over the place. Now we fighting each other over blocks and streets we don't own. Names we can't even pronounce. People we don't even know. Everything we celebrate is against us. Everything we praise is against us. We got to turn it around and control our own town. That's why we do this. That's why. How many people starting to buy some property in the city? How many people began to engage in some of the local contracts? I know I seen, Brother Labib, stand up. I just want people to see Brother Labib. I'm sorry, I want to put you on the spot. Brother Labib right here. Now, the reason I'm going to say that because Labib was a police officer. He came to these men's meetings. I went to, one of the sites and I talked to the brothers and they said Labib was there. I thought they was talking about Labib was there doing security on the site as one of the police officers. But Labib was there as a part of developing the site or helping to replace some of the stuff. That's good stuff. That's what we need to be about, and pulling other people in. That's what we have to be about, right? And I like to identify people in the crowd because I want people to know that because you come here, that there's something that you can get out of it, and I want you to get it as much as you can, while you can, because you don't have a lot of time. 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 While we fighting over nonsense, they trying their best to move me somewhere else. Because as this city develops and booms and billions of dollars in development comes into this town, everybody is not going to sit at the table and say, what about us? Some people only worried about them. You could tell they only worried about them. That's all they talking about. They only angry because they ain't in it. I don't want to be in it. I want you to have it. I don't want you to give me nothing. You don't owe me nothing. You don't have to buy me nothing. You don't have to come to my parties. You don't have to say hello to me in the street. I would like it. How you doing? You don't have to do none of that. I just want you to build. I want people to think about Newark. They come here and say, those people control that town. That's what I want them to say. You don't owe me nothing. You don't owe me a thing. You don't have to give me nothing. I just want some of the pastors to pray for me from time to time, but you don't have to give me nothing. You don't have to give me nothing. I don't want it. Don't give it to me. Matter of fact, they want me to take it so they can throw me in jail. They've been trying to get me since I stepped foot in this place. They've been working hard to disrupt, destroy, discombobulate, break down everything. And some of the people who were close to me fell victim to it. In the street and in the office. People I was close to in the street fell victim to it. People around me in City Hall fell victim to it. They tested the system. They shook it. And we fell victim. We start saying stuff we know ain't true. We start breaking down and falling apart. We start blaming each other and running and hiding, doing things we know we ain't got no business doing. They offered us things and we took it. We got our hands out because we can't go through the pain. We don't have the discipline to stand the pain. You don't have to, you know, if you didn't want them to bother you, you shouldn't have got in it. You in the street now, you want to change your life, now they bothering you. What the heck you think was going to happen? They want you to be in the street. They made the street for you. Do you know they made the drug trade for you? It's stuff they sell in stores nobody else buy but you. You thought they make those rims for somebody else but you? The Louis Vuitton pouches that you used to wear, they don't make that for nobody but you. They make all this stuff for you. It's a whole underground system based on this drug trade. It's for you. Jail is for you. Death is for you. This is for you. This is all for you. It's a whole economy created for you. They want you to be in the street because at the end of it is death or jail, not power. You think that those clothes and that car is power. You think that those dollars you put on your ear on Facebook is power. Dollars are paper made from a tree, produced in a factory on a mint, on a plate they own. They own a plate where they produce dollars, and they trick you by saying it ain't enough dollars. How the heck can they keep giving you stimulus checks? Because they making the money on a machine. Tell you it ain't enough money. That's a lie. We don't have enough money for health care. It's a lie. We don't have enough money for housing. It's a lie. They make you think it's scarce. How can something they create be scarce? They made it. They made it. Every time Congress, we need $5 billion for this, the $6 trillion stimulus package. Where's the money coming from? Somebody making it. And you on Instagram with it on your ear. Like that means you got power. It just means you're a fool. Because the money is not the end goal. Wealth is the end goal. The money is the means to get wealth. You sitting there like you finished. You've been in the basement so long, you got to the first floor, now you think you're on the roof. You're on Instagram with a stack of bills. Floyd Mayweather got all these dollars all over the table, corrupting all these kids, making them believe they searching for dollars. So they outside murdering people for $2,000. Trying to get these dollars. That's not the end. That's the step. You can't even get the first step because you don't got the capital to get wealth. You can't open a business because you don't got the capital to get wealth. Those dollars that they put before you and say it's scarce, it ain't scarce. They own the machine. You know they own the machines, right? They own the machines. They make them. And they produce dollars. And we murder each other for it. Or double cross. Or steal. Or rob each other for things they make on a machine from a tree that belongs to you. That's what they do. And they got us running around like rats trying to get those dollars. They made it on a machine. They say it's scarce. And they give it to a few people and don't give you none. You ever play musical chairs? The problem ain't the music. The problem ain't enough chairs. They got you focused on the music. You trying to beat the music. You competing with brother here so you can get the music. So you can beat and get the chair, but there ain't enough chairs. Ain't nobody fighting to get another chair. How about somebody say, look, let's stop playing this game. Who's going to be the innovative one to say, you know what? We don't want to play this game. And then organize everybody else that's in the game. We're not playing this game no more, y'all. Because guess what? If we don't play the game, it ain't one. Let's make our own game. Right? And get rid of the people who are convincing us to play musical chairs. And then we fighting with each other. You ain't fast enough. You ain't strong enough. You ain't big enough. You don't belong to the right block, the right set. You don't take financial literacy. Your school ain't strong enough. This is one problem after the next problem after the next problem. When really it's the game is broken. Well, it ain't broken because that's how it works. It's the wrong game for you to be in. You looking for opportunity and the game is designed for you to lose. And that's the conundrum we in. We trying to be successful in this city, in this country, and it's designed for us to lose. So we have to be a little smarter, work a little harder, be more unified, pray a little longer. Do the things you do that's helping you lift your spirit. Get with the people that's helping you be strong and analyze better. Don't be bullied. Don't be bullied. Because everybody that come to you in the guise of friendship ain't your friend. P.E. said every brother ain't a brother. Right? Everybody that come to you under the guise of being with you, not with you. And the first thing they do is feed your ego. They attack you, then they feed your ego. And you with them. And the whole time they working to destroy you. Pull you apart. Keep you away from people that's helping you. Turn you away from the people that's giving you what you need. Why you going down there with them brothers? They ain't about nothing. Why you helping him? Why you going over there with him? Why you doing that? Don't do that. You've been down there for 5 days. You ain't getting nothing yet. Well, we've been on this block for 15 years and we still ain't got nothing. We done seen everybody go to jail, people die all in this neighborhood, and we come outside on the same block in the same corner and sit right over the blood stain where our cousin just got killed. And we do it again and wait for somebody else to die. Then we put the shirts on and we get on social media and then we blame everybody and everybody is an op and the police are wrong and this is the problem and that's the problem and this thing is going on. But nobody said let's buy this stuff. I ain't mad if you like purple. Buy those houses and paint them purple. It ain't that serious. You heard me? It ain't that serious. It ain't that serious. Us losing is serious. How many of your boys you going to see go to jail before you think you got to do something different? How many people gonna get football numbers 30, 40, 50, 60 years before you think it's time to do something different? How many of your guys gonna die on dirty sidewalks, slumped over in cars, on pissy corners in a dirty building? They kids left behind. How many times you gotta see that story over and over again before you think it's time to do something different? How long are you gonna live in this neighborhood and watch this thing happen over and over again? A sad rerun of a sick movie that you just keep watching over and over again, being a part of before you do something different. What's gonna motivate you to get up and do something different? Or you're gonna keep listening to the lies of the people around you because they need you around them to justify their failure? When you gonna do something different? When you gonna do something different? When you gonna do something different? They got you hiding in the east, you hiding in the north, he hiding in the south, you hiding in the central. We ain't never coming together to do nothing. We ain't never gonna come together. They don't worry about you coming together to do what? Maybe if something happened, you'll come burn the city down. I can get 100 people to come out the street and burn down Dunkin' Donuts. But can I get 100 y'all to come to help me build 5 or 6 of them? I can get you angry enough to come down the street and set the precinct on fire. But can I get you angry enough to get all your people together and buy all of the property on Elizabeth Avenue? Yeah, I can piss you off enough. If I say a few things happen, I get all of the agitators on social media to aggravate you enough, because they can't get 10 people at their rally, to aggravate you enough to come downtown to cuss a few people out. But can I get you aggravated enough to identify all the vacant lots in the West Ward and decide to build farms on them? Or set up a food co-op? Because the people in your community don't got enough money to eat. Everybody on, they on welfare. They got to use those cards and all this stuff. Let's just buy all these vacant lots, turn them into food co-ops, and feed the people in our neighborhood. Let them pay us a monthly fee, a small fee, and we feed them. We just own all of the vacant lots in our community. We turn them into farms. Let's get angry enough to do that. Can I get you pissed off enough to do that? Yeah. You and your boys, y'all mad at the police because they keep making y'all move from that block. People be atting me on Instagram. Stop atting me, man. At me on Instagram. Hey, the cops messing with us. Every day we be in front of this block and this abandoned building, they always messing with us. At me and say, Mayor, the cops keep moving us from this abandoned building, so we want to buy it. What do I have to do to buy this building? We're going to put our money together. We're going to buy this building. We're going to paint it. We're going to put our name on it. We're going to do whatever. So when the cops come, we can say we live here. We own it. We own this building. There's a difference between living there and owning the property. They treat property owners better than they treat you renting the building, right? If you say, I own this. Oh, all right, my bad. We got complaints of you standing right here because I own it. This is my cousin, my friends, my uncles. We own this. We bought it 2 weeks ago. It belongs to us. Matter of fact, this is our hood and our name is on the top of it. We put our name up there because we own this property. This belongs to me, and when I'm gone, my children and their children's children, they're gonna own it too. As a matter of fact, all of us own it. We created a co-op and we own it together. We own it together. Then we got so excited, officer, when we bought this building, we went and got the other vacant one down there. So we own this one and that one. So if you see us down there, we own that too. We're going to have a cookout next week, and you're more than welcome to come. But it's our property. We own this block, this street, this house. Now we're going to go next door and get those houses, and we're going to own that block too. And then really we could say this is our hood because we own it. This is our hood because we own it now. We own it. We own it. And the people who live here are in our community, and we own it collectively. That's a great story. That's great imagination. I need somebody to think like that. Y'all ready for that? I'm ready for that. Don't come see me about this thing and that thing, somebody bothering you, I'm running for this, I'm running for that. I don't want to hear it. At the end of the day, I want you to talk about what you're going to do to improve the quality of the life of the people of this town, how you are going to own, build, create prosperity for yourself, for your family, for your community. That's what I want to see, right? I want you to do that every single day. I want you to do that with the people around you, the kids around you, everybody around you. I want you to show them love, develop them, let them see what it looks like to own and develop, and stop this weak narrative that all of us are losing, because all of us ain't losing. I wanted you to see a couple of people that's winning. I wanted you to see that young man whose father was incarcerated, who came up here and now is working for a Fortune 500 company because he put his mind to work. I want you to see all the developers that came up here and put their mind to work and did the things that they're doing, because all of us not losing, some of us winning. The problem is you hanging around losers, so you think everybody losing. Get away from those losers. I want our kids to see people winning. There's people up here winning, that they winning. We in here, we in the city winning. It's odds against us. It's difficult, it's hard, but we winning. I want you to see winners up here. People that's winning. No matter how difficult things are, we winning. The odds stacks against me, but I'm winning. It's hard out here, but I'm winning. People dying, but I'm winning. COVID here, but I'm winning. Pandemic is crazy, but I'm winning. My father locked up, but I'm winning. I got shot last week, but I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm part of a winning team. I'm a winner, and I'm not hanging around losers. Losers concentrate on winners. Winners concentrate on winning. Losers concentrate on winners, and winners concentrate on winning. You know when you're around losers because they're always talking about people. Because they always focused on people because they're losers. They focused on them. Stop focusing on them and focus on winning. Focus on losing, that's why you focus on him. You mad because they winning, so you focusing on them because you don't want them to win. You wish you could be winning like them. First advice, stop focusing on them and focusing on what they're doing that's letting them win. You focusing on them, that's why you keep losing. You on social media talking about them. You wake up in the morning talking about them. Like Mr. Hawk said, you obsessed with them. They your op. No, they you. You a loser. You a loser. That's what you do every day. You focus on somebody else, and you're trying to bring them down because you think if you bring them down, it'll make you feel better about your losing. Yeah. Instead of focusing on winning. Not me. I don't want to hear none of that. Such and such did this. I don't care. This person did that. I don't care. They talking about you. I don't care. Don't bring that to me. He talking about you. He's saying this about you. This one doing this. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Let them talk. Let them do that. I don't care. I'm winning. They're focusing on me because they're losing. Focus on winning. That's what you do. Focus on winning. Last word. Winning is hard. Take discipline and commitment and concentration and focus. It takes falling down and pain. If you can't take the pain, then you can't win. But guess what? The pain of losing is greater than the pain that you got to go through to win. It takes commitment. It don't happen for you the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time. You got to stay at it. You got to stay at it. It don't happen for you. Now you blaming everybody and everything is wrong because you don't got the discipline or commitment to it. Stay at it. People did you wrong. They're supposed to do you wrong. Do you know in a journey to winning is betrayal? On a journey to winning is hatred. On a journey to winning is people that's going to steal and rob and beat you. On a journey to winning, somebody going to nail you to a cross. On a journey to winning, you're going to fall 4, 5, 6, 7 times. You're going to hurt your elbow, your head, your knee. You're going to want to give up. You're going to be tired. You're going to get the white stuff on the side of your mouth because you're losing your breath. You're going to lose faith and hope on that journey. Nobody said it was going to be easy, just that you was going to win. You just got to stay on the road. You got to stay on the road. You think, in like we've opened, you think that it's supposed to be easy, that you're entitled to something. And I told you, if God could allow Jesus to go through all of this, who the heck you think you are? Right? You got to deal with it. Bear your own cross. We having another men's meeting. It's going to be different. It's going to be a round table. We're going to put up chairs. Hopefully we put 1,000 chairs out there. We're going to put it in a big, giant circle. Right? A big circle like this. Hopefully we could do it outside somewhere or a place that allow us to, big enough to have a circle like that, because I want to have a round table. I want us to exchange our anger, our thoughts, everything. I want us to exchange that, right? And we're going to facilitate that discussion. And we're going to discuss one point after the next point after the next point. We're going to start with development, contracts, organization, all of those things. We're going to talk about it in a giant circle. And we're going to end talking about family. If you don't want to talk about family, then you shouldn't be in here, because at the basis of all of this is family. The reason we're doing this is for our family. Family is business. And if they destroy your family, they destroy your business. We're going to talk about family. How do we bring our families back together again? How do we strengthen our families? You can't strengthen communities with weak families. You can't strengthen a community with an upside-down family. We got to strengthen our families, then we strengthen our community, right? So we're going to talk about family as we get out of there, and it's going to hurt a little bit. And some of the people who think they're going to talk ain't going to say a word, because you got to get all of that in, because it's going to be a rough discussion. And we need to have it. We got to have it. We got to have it. We got to talk about our wayward kids. What's going on in our neighborhood? Why are we killing each other? Why our kids rather smoke or drink cough syrup than come to a meeting to listen to you speak? We got to have these conversations. We got to have real open conversations with one another. And we're going to start there. We're going to start there. A big giant circle. I need you to come, and I need you to bring 5 or 10 other people. Matter of fact, we were supposed to have the meeting at Robert Treat, then we were supposed to do it in the parking lot of Home Depot. And the reason I wanted to do that, for 2 reasons, because I wanted to give the brother outside, Nubian Flavor, some business, and we still want to give Nubian Flavor some business, right? But 2, I wanted us to be outside so when people drive by, they could see all of us in a circle. And all these cars and stuff, people are going to stop, they're going to get off the bus, they're going to do all kinds of stuff, they're going to know what's going on. They're going to see a giant circle out there yelling, hold the line, and they're going to know what's going on. It's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow, and it's going to be a big, giant circle out there. We could do it, you know, maybe we do Home Depot. Maybe we figure it out in a place that we think all of us could fit, that would be just exciting, and people could feel it all over the city. I want people from every neighborhood to come and get in that circle, man. I want us to get in that circle, because the circle is what we need. We need a circle. We need a circle, right? That's what we need. We need a circle. That's right. Rotating and elevating. Rotating and elevating. Rotating and elevating. Rotate. That's what we need, a circle. Rotating and elevating. I need y'all to be there. Yep. Brother Tariq does a great job, y'all. Give him a round of applause. Yep, and he does this, puts this together as much as he can. Me on him, he makes it happen. I appreciate him. When you come, bring your children. The only children that's allowed to sleep in here is my son. You see, he falls asleep with my baby, but he was up for a long time. But I want you to bring your kids. Our kids need to come to work with us. I'm not talking about the job you do at the terminal. I'm talking about this work. They need to come to work with us. They need to see us building with one another. They need to see us talking to each other, shaking each other's hand, not telling on each other, not turning each other in, not beating each other, not stabbing each other, not shooting each other. Do you know that domestic violence in the city is growing that the deaths that that Minister Hawk talked about, that 10 of those deaths are domestic violence, and it's not the domestic violence of men and women domestic violence, it's actually children on their parents. Do you know it's children stabbing their fathers? You know that's what's happening here? That's why we need to have this meeting. We need to put that circle together, right? Bring your babies. They need to see us loving each other. And more than loving each other, they need to see us working together. That's what they need to see us do. They need to see us working together. They need to see me hug you. They need to see me hug somebody that I talk negative about. Because you know they hear you talking negative about people. They hear you hating on everybody. They hear that. And then you wonder where they got their attitude from. They need to see you loving each other, shaking each other's hand, building an organization together. That's what they need to see. Yes, sir. Give yourselves a round of applause, man. Hold the line. 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 I appreciate y'all, man. If you don't, somebody you don't know today, please talk to them. Talk to somebody you don't know. Get their information. Some of these brothers got businesses. Talk to these brothers in here, man. Introduce yourself. There's food in the cafeteria. If you're hungry, go eat. Some of you brought your kids with you. The cafeteria is food over there. Talk to each other, please. Give somebody a pound, a hug that you don't know.